you strike a terrorist country who the Trump administration says the #1 state sponsor terrorism and all that fun stuff, right? We have had so many terrorist attacks throughout the decades that it is innumerable at this point. Maybe we should be a little bit careful about the ones that are currently in the United States. We shouldn't have any in the United States to begin with because they're incompatible with the West. Islam is 100% incompatible with the West, so there's no way around it, no matter what form it takes. Whether it's the Pakistani rape gangs in the UK or the Senegalians here, no matter what version and what flavor, not compatible with the West. Get the fuck out of here. You shouldn't be in any single Western country regardless. And we should be extra careful with the ones we do know about that are in the United States. We attack something like Iran, who advocates strongly for Islamic terrorism. Well, that didn't happen, even though Trump mentioned in the article earlier that he would stop it. Trump also said he wasn't concerned about Iran using terrorism to repay America for a weekend's attack. We'll take it out, whatever. It's like everything else, we'll take it out. This article was posted today. Keep in mind, this terrorist attack happened over the weekend on Saturday, and I know he was actually briefed upon it. So the reported Islamist shooter in Austin, Texas has been identified as the 53-year-old Nindiga Dayan, who wore a Property of Allah shirt and during the terror attack, which, as you can see here, he's lying dead. The video doesn't really show much other than them dancing around. Here's a better picture of him, darker than the night, severely overweight, and here's his wearing the Property of Allah shirt. Why do we have a Senegalian in here? He should belong to Senegal, right? But for some reason he is, and he killed people. So before we get into that, the funny thing is, yes, the man, the myth and legend, the cockroach himself, also has, well, a different color. A Property of Allah. Not the best look for a son, which is why he's not exactly happy about the whole thing. I just want to point out that little fun fact of today. It's funny that he has the same exact shirt, or basically the same exact shirt, as the shooter did. Austin bar mass shooter possibly motivated by Iran attacks. Quran found in the car as FBI ICE terrorism after 2 killed, 14 injured. The fiend behind Sunday's bloodbath at packed Austin bar with an ex-New York City resident wearing a Property of Allah hoodie and possibly out for vengeance over the U.S. attack on Iran, law enforcement sources told the Post. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is a sleeper cell attack, and it could be a sleeper cell attack, or it could just be a fucking Islamic fucking terrorist, because that's what Islam does. Crazed Texas shooter Ndagia Dagne, 53, of Senegal, arrived in the U.S. on March 13th, 2000 on a B-2 tourist visa during the Democratic Clinton administration and became a lawful permanent resident, IR6, when he married a U.S. citizen on June 20, 2006, a source familiar with immigration history told the Post. He then became a naturalized U.S. citizen on April 5th, 2013, around the start of the former President Barack Obama's second term, despite his growing rap sheet spanning New York and Texas. So, this man, who's from Senegal, why is somebody in Senegal in the United States? I don't care if it's a shithole. He should still be there. Like, it just doesn't matter. And he arrived on a tourist visa. So for those who don't know, little fun fact, and problem with visas in general, and I want them all wiped out, a very easy way to get here illegally in the United States is to get a tourist visa. Just say you're going, and this is the reason why he's actually originates from New York City, because it's very easy to do so, is get your tourist visa. So you're taking a nice, simple vacation to the United States, you want to see the sights, go to New York City, right, because it's the Big Apple, it's a classic Americana. Stay your 2 weeks, and then just disappear. New York City is so big, it's absolute rat maze, and has so many ethnicities from all over the world, because we have had terrible immigration policies since 1965, that you can just disappear. And you can find a job underneath the table, and because of that, because he was able to marry a U.S. citizen and get his green card that way, his lawful permanent resident, he's able to get the naturalized U.S. citizenship a few years later. That is quite literally the cheat code into America. It happens all the fucking time, and that's what he abused. Illegal immigration's the worst, in my opinion. Illegal immigration is by far the most damaging because of how many loopholes and how many ways they can abuse the system, and then they're able to vote. They take jobs that are not under the table, and they can collect welfare and a whole bunch of other benefits. And he was somehow able to get his naturalized U.S. citizenship despite his growing rap sheet spanning New York and Texas. Career criminal, because he's Senegalian, he's black. And apparently, somebody mentioned in chat, Senegal is probably top 5 worst country of all time, I think, at 47 average IQ. No, okay. No way. No, I gotta pull up the IQ. Hold on a second. 65! IQ is 65, apparently. They're not very smart. They're not very smart. And yet, somehow he was able to get in here legally on a tourist visa. Here's a video from October 2023. Unvetted males from Senegal cross the U.S. border in Texas, all military age, no families. And we won't watch the whole thing because it's very repetitive, but almost every man in this video is from Senegal.
How you doing? Where are you from?
Senegal.
Senegal. Where are you going?
New York.
New York. Thank you, sir. You?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
Nigeria.
Thank you. Where are you from?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
North Carolina.
Thank you, sir. You? Where are you from?
Senegalese.
Where you
That's the face of like some mass murder in the middle of the night, like your paralysis demon in your doorway, like it's about to murder you. Like that is so fucking freaky.
Senegalese.
Where are you going?
Senegal.
Thank you, sir. Where are you from?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
Senegal.
Thank you. Where are you going?
New York.
From where?
Yeah.
Senegal? Thank you. Where are you from?
From Senegal.
Where are you going?
Columbus.
Columbus, Ohio. Thank you, sir. You?
Guinea.
Where are you going?
Columbus.
Columbus. Thank you. Where are you from?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
New York.
Thank you, sir. And you?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
New York.
Thank you, sir.
He's the old this guy out of all the groups. I watched this before. Is the most clean, dressed, and best English out of all of them. Out of all of these guys, and there's so many of them. Like I said, we're not gonna watch the whole thing. Not exactly looking like the best case for per capita here.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. You?
Senegal.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Where are you? Where are you from?
Senegal.
Oh my God. Where are you going?
New York.
New York. You?
Gambia.
Gambia.
Yeah.
You're lying.
New York.
You're
I like how he says you're lying. He's the only one that looks different from all of them, right? They have more rounded faces. Then this guy from Gumby comes around, and he's got a lot like longer face, and he's like, no way, because like everyone's been saying Senegal, but like he's the only one whose actual facial features look completely different. I feel like that's actually quite telling here. There is one woman in this whole entire group and this endless line of men that are from Senegal, trying to cross the border. Now, obviously, the shooter didn't come from this line back in 2023. But if you cannot tell based off how well those English accents are, yeah, I'm guessing this guy is probably of the same quality there. On Sunday, the killer had a Quran in his car and was possibly also wearing an undershirt featuring the Iranian flag or other Iranian symbols. They opened fire on Buford's backyard beer garden near the University of Texas Austin campus, according to sources familiar with the investigation. Law enforcement knew him as an emotionally disturbed person in both New York and Texas for Sunday's bloody rampage, sources said. Okay, chat. Now we got emotionally disturbed person to add to the list of descriptions for black people when they commit crimes. He also had a string of previous arrests under his belt at the Big Apple in Texas, sources said, including a 2022 arrest in the Lone Star State for a collision with vehicle damage. In New York City, he notched busts between 2001 and 2016, the year he applied for asylum under the avoiding Obama administration. So he has all these criminal cases on him, including when he was applying for asylum and the tourist visa, the green card, and everything else. And they still gave it to him. I fucking hate our system so much. Dagne was arrested in 2001 for illegal vending. His other 3 city arrests are sealed, sources said. Details on his Texas bus were not immediately known. So there's no way in hell this guy actually sealed his other 3 city arrests. 3 city arrests. Some sort of immigration lawyer helped them. Because these immigration lawyers are literally in every single city in the entirety of the United States. When the whole Minnesota riots were happening back in January, people discovered 50 in Minneapolis alone. I know Minneapolis is a decent-sized city, but 50 NGOs and lawyers combined to help with immigration purposes, for naturalizations, things like that. And New York City, I can guarantee there's a lot more than 50. In Texas, I also can guarantee there's a lot more than 50 as well. They do this on purpose because they're working with NGOs, they're working with Democrats to try to help these illegals become legal citizens. I know Data Republican has insight on this kind of stuff, and it's just, the web is massive how this shit works. He's just another one that used the benefits. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee this. Obviously, it's still way too early in the process to determine the exact motivation, but there are indicators on the subject and in his vehicle that indicate potential nexus to terrorism, said Alex Duran, acting special agent in charge of the FBI's San Antonio office, to reporters. The attack happened about 2 a.m., closing time for the popular night spot, as hundreds of people were leaving to head home. Dagnes, a large SUV, was spotted traveling around the block several times before he stopped in front of the bar and began shooting out of his front window with a pistol, hitting patrons on the patio, according to Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis. Why is a woman a fucking police chief? He then parked his car, got out, and began shooting at people walking by on the street, the chief said. Police confronted the shooter with less than a minute of the first gunshot at an intersection on 6th Street and shot him, cops said. 2 victims and the shooter died at the scene. First responders rushed 14 other patients in nearby hospitals, 3 of whom were in critical condition. Our hearts go out to people who are victims of this, and I want to reiterate my thanks to our public safety officers and officials that so rapidly were on the scene to definitely save lives, Austin Mayor Kirk Watson said. This act of violence will not define us, nor will it shake the resolve of Texans. Anyone who thinks about using current conflict and abilities to threaten Texans or our critical infrastructure, understand this clearly. Texas will respond with decisive and overwhelming force to protect our state, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said in a statement. Doesn't mean anything. Oh yeah, our hearts go out, it's such a tragedy, oh blah 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 blah. I mean, it is a tragedy, right? But they all say the same script. The amount of times I've heard our hearts go out. Because they can't say, well, we're going to pray to God or anything like that, because God's bad. Better than saying nothing, I guess, but just cliche. But anyway, Greg fucking Abbott can suck my cock. 2 people are dead now, and 14 other people are injured, with 3 in critical condition. You responding doesn't solve the problem. You can just not have these people here in the first place. The Senegalian could have been deported. Like, there are so many things that could have prevented this from happening if we actually had good, strong borders and not the Heart Sellers Act of 1965. To stop this, or just having a complete ban on Muslims. I don't care if you're from the Middle East or Africa or China, wherever they come from. I don't care. If you're a Muslim, you get banned. And if you want to lie about your faith, well, they have some other preventions and checks and balances in there that prevent them coming in, because they're a liability. And the politicians know this as well, but they don't care, because if they, at least when it comes to Democrats, if they pander to them, they can get the votes. Republicans don't care, because they'll be like, oh, we'll get rid of them. And they don't do anything. But then they stay in their power for the 4 years, they grab the bag, and then they leave. Like, nothing's gonna happen. The whole situation from top to bottom is completely preventable, but nobody's willing to do anything because of votes and money, Islamophobia, and whatever excuse that they have at this point, because the whole system is made to hurt us. Mass deportation needs to go beyond illegals. We actually need military action. If we're gonna have boots on the ground, I want the boots on the ground in every single major city in the United States. Get the color swatch out and round up every single brown person. I do not care. They do not fucking belong here. But every single person who has come in since 1965, who is not of European descent, needs to go. Because ever since then, has been non-stop mass immigration, illegally and legally, has become non-stop problems. Most of it's come from third world shitholes, and they're all on welfare, if you look at the statistics. They don't contribute anything to society other than votes. And there's a reason why all these blue states don't actually want to have ID or anything like that. It's a complete disaster with their immigration policy. And Trump's not gonna be the one to fix it, unfortunately. I wish he was. I was hoping he would do a better job with illegals, and maybe he will, but there's a whole activist judges issue. This is not going to be an easy thing. But yes, I firmly believe this is motivated by Iran attacks, because why else would a Muslim go fucking crazy the day of, really, because it technically happened on Saturday, possibly has the Iran flag as an undershirt. Now, one thing that New York Post doesn't mention that I thought was sad but funny is that a Waymo vehicle blocked traffic as first responders raced to the Boston bar mass shooting where 3 people were killed and 14 injured. It's just a bunch of sirens and stuff like that, so I won't play the audio for this. So, somebody possibly also involved in this case, why would a Waymo vehicle block traffic? There's no way in hell this 65 IQ jungleoid here was controlling a Waymo vehicle while he's shooting up people. So either there is a second person involved with a terrorist attack, which would go with the sleeper cell theory, or, I mean, the AI car could just be the stupid too. Possibly?